Earth is thriving right now. It had taken centuries, but humanity had finally learned to live in harmony with its environment and one another. The Great Reformation of the 21st century sparked a wave of change, leading to a new era of peace, prosperity, and technological advancement. Nations no longer existed as isolated entities, but instead, the United Earth Government oversaw a unified planet where resources were shared and conflicts were resolved through diplomacy. We are meeting Dr. Kate Emerson, who is a brilliant astrophysicist. She is very respected and adored by her colleagues because, apart from being really smart, she is also a very hard worker. Growing up, she had been fascinated by the stars, spending countless nights on the roof of her family home, staring up at the sky through her telescope. Her parents were both scientists. They nurtured her curiosity from a very early age and encouraged her to question everything around her. By the time she was in college, Kate had already made a name for herself in the field of astrophysics. Her papers on dark matter and black holes gained international recognition from the scientists in her field. After she finished college, she joined the United Earth Space Command, UESC, a leading organization dedicated to space exploration and defense. She worked on many projects, including the development of advanced propulsion systems and the study of cosmic events. It was during one of these projects that she met Dr. Matthew Brown. He was a charismatic physicist known for his groundbreaking work in quantum mechanics. The two quickly became friends because of their mutual passion for uncovering the mysteries of the universe. The turning point came 5 years ago when Kate and Matthew were part of a team observing a distant star system. They noticed an unusual gravitational fluctuation that defied all known scientific theories. Baffled by that, they began to study the anomaly, dedicating countless hours in order to understand it better. But the deeper they dug in, the more confusing it became. Unlike anything they had encountered before, this anomaly seemed to warp space and time, exerting a powerful gravitational pull that grew stronger with each passing day. All the data showed that it probably was a black hole, but the problem was that it was much more powerful than any black hole known at the time. As their research continued, they realized the anomaly was moving slowly but steadily toward the solar system. At first, the UESC dismissed their findings, believing them to be errors or misinterpretations of data. However, as the anomaly drew closer, its effects became impossible to ignore. Satellites malfunctioned, communication signals were disrupted, and even the orbits of distant planets began to shift. Panic set in as the scientific community fought to understand the threat they were facing. But now, they were completely sure it was, in fact, a black hole. It just moved faster than any previously known black holes, and it was also much more powerful than any of the others. Kate and Matthew worked really hard, often going days without sleep, trying to predict the black hole's trajectory and potential impact. It was during one of these late-night sessions that they made a horrifying discovery. If the black hole continued on its current path, it would reach the Earth within a year, and it would probably tear the planet apart with its immense gravitational force. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the UESC finally took action, organizing a series of emergency meetings with experts from around the globe. The situation was awful, and the pressure on Kate and Matthew was big. They needed to find a solution really fast. In the last meeting they had that was held at the UESC's headquarters, Kate presented their final findings. She stood in front of everyone and started speaking. "This black hole is unlike anything we've ever encountered," pointing to the data displayed on the screen behind her. It's pulling at the very fabric of our solar system. If we don't find a way to stop it, Earth could be destroyed within a year." General Laura Mitchell leaned forward and looked at Kate. She had a good reputation for handling crises. "Dr. Emerson, do we have any idea if this is really a black hole or just some cosmological anomaly, and how can we stop it?" Kate nodded. "Yes, we do. All the data is showing that this really is a black hole. It's just that it's so much different than any black holes we've ever encountered until now. And we don't know yet how was it even created. Our priority now is to gather more data and understand its nature better. Only then we can develop a plan to counteract its effects." The room went silent while people were realizing the magnitude of the situation. Dr. Terry Dale, an engineer known for his innovative solutions, raised his hand. "Do we, at least, have any theories on where this black hole came from? Could it be a natural phenomenon or something else?" Matthew, standing next to Kate, replied, "We're not ruling anything out at this point. It could be a natural event, or it could be something artificial. We just don't have enough information yet." General Mitchell nodded. "Okay, then we need to act quickly. We'll assemble a team of the best minds in their respective fields. Dr. Dale, you'll handle engineering. Dr. Maria Santos, we need your expertise in quantum physics. Captain Jake Reynolds will lead the mission." Jake was an experienced astronaut with many successful missions under his belt. "We'll get it done," he said firmly. As the meeting ended, Kate felt a sense of concern. They did have a plan, but the road ahead was filled with uncertainty. She glanced at Matthew, but he gave her a reassuring smile. "We'll figure this out, Kate. We've faced tough challenges before, and we've always found a way." Kate agreed. "Yes, we will. And for the sake of everyone on Earth, we will have to." With the team assembled and the mission clear, they began the monumental task of preparing for what lay ahead. The fate of humanity rested in their hands, and failure was not an option. The team worked day and night to prepare their spacecraft, named Hope, for its mission. It was a powerful ship equipped with the latest technology and built for both speed and resilience. The crew was consisting of Dr. Kate Emerson, Dr. Matthew Brown, Dr. Terry Dale, Dr. Maria Santos, and Captain Jake Reynolds, and they were ready to face anything thrown at them. On the day of the launch, the mood of the crew was a blend of excitement and anxiety. Kate stood by the window of the command center, looking out at the massive ship. "We've worked so hard for this," she said quietly to Matthew, who stood beside her. Matthew agreed. "It's our best shot. We have to make it count." General Laura Mitchell addressed the crew before they boarded. "You are the best of the best. The world is counting on you. Good luck." Jake led the team into the ship, each member taking their assigned positions. As they strapped in, Jake's voice came over the intercom. "All right, team, this is it. Let's bring some hope back to Earth." The launch was smooth, and soon the ship was soaring through the space. The journey to the black hole was long and tense. Kate and Matthew spent most of their time in the lab, analyzing data and running simulations. Terry was doing work on a machine he had created with a team of scientists. That machine was designed to counteract the effect of a black hole. Maria monitored the ship's systems, ensuring everything was functioning perfectly. As they approached the black hole, the tension in the ship grew. Kate looked at the readings on her screen, while her heart was beating really fast. "We're getting close, everyone. Brace yourselves." Then the black hole came into view. It was a swirling mass of energy that seemed to bend space around it. They were still very far from it, but since the black hole was huge, they could see it clearly. It was both beautiful and terrifying. "I've never seen anything like this," Maria said, while her mind was still trying to understand what it was actually seeing. They traveled for a couple more hours until they finally arrived at the event horizon. They couldn't go any further because the black hole would suck them in as well. Kate took a deep breath. "All right, Terry, it's your show now. How's the device looking?" Terry looked at his controls. "I need just a little bit more time to calibrate this thing, but we need to get closer." Jake maneuvered the ship a little bit closer to the black hole, but the ship was struggling to remain in its orbit because it was under a lot of pressure from a black hole. Engines were starting to heat up, and smoke was coming from them. "Put the stabilizers at maximum," Jake shouted. "We have to remain in this position." Kate was watching the readings on her screen, and then yelled, "Terry, now would be a good time." Terry activated the device, sending a pulse of energy toward the hole. For a moment, nothing happened. But then, to everyone's amazement, the black hole started shrinking, and its pulling power was weakening. "It's working!" Maria shouted to the crew, but their relief was short-lived. The black hole flared, sending a shockwave through the ship. Kate was thrown against the wall, and her vision became blurry. "Kate, are you all right?" Matthew was heard calling for her. "I'm fine," she moaned while pushing herself up. "Terry, what's happening?" Terry's face was pale. "The machine can't handle the feedback. We need a new plan. Fast." The ship was in chaos. Alarms were going off, lights were flashing, and the crew struggled to regain control. "We need to stabilize the ship," Jake shouted, while his hands were moving quickly over the controls of the ship. Maria shouted, "Rerouting power to the stabilizers. It's holding, but barely." Kate and Matthew were worried sick. "We have to figure out another way to neutralize the black hole," Kate said. "We can't give up now." Matthew nodded. "Agreed." "Terry? Any ideas?" Terry took a deep breath, while his mind was racing in order to come up with an idea. "What if we amplify the machine using the ship's core? It's risky, but it might work." Kate's eyes widened. "That could blow us all up." "It's our only chance," Terry insisted. "We have to try." Jake's voice came over the intercom. "Do it. We don't have much time." The team went into action. Terry guided them through the process, rerouting power from the ship's core to the machine. "Careful, we need precise calibration," he warned them. "Almost there," Matthew said, while sweat was dripping from his eyebrow. "Kate, are you ready?" Kate nodded. "Ready." "All right, let's do this," Terry said, and he activated the machine again, this time with the ship's core providing extra power. The ship shook violently as the machine sent another pulse of energy toward the hole. The black hole started glowing, and its energy was flashing in all directions. For a moment it seemed like it would overwhelm the machine and endure its power. But then, slowly, it began to collapse in on itself. "It's working!" Maria screamed, hardly believing it herself. The black hole was shrinking even further, while its pull was weakening with each passing second. The ship's alarms went silent, and the readings on the monitors began to stabilize. "We did it!" Jake yelled, while he dropped down in his seat. "It's over!" Cheers erupted from the team. Kate started crying. The tears of joy were streaming down her face as she hugged Matthew. "We did it," she said. "We actually did it." "Yes, we did, and I'm so relieved right now," Matthew replied. "For a moment I thought that we all were going to die. but we survived and actually managed to destroy this freaking thing. I'm so proud of us right now." As the ship began its journey back to Earth, the crew took a moment to breathe. Their bodies and minds needed some time to rest. They had faced one of the greatest challenges the human race had ever faced, and they won. Months had passed since the crew of the Hope had returned to Earth, and life was slowly returning to normal. The world was immensely thankful for what they did, and they became superstars overnight. Celebrations erupted across the globe, and the crew was hailed as heroes. Parades were held in their honor, and they were awarded the highest honors from the United Earth government. But Kate found it hard to adjust to life after the mission, because of all the constant attention she was getting from people all around the planet, all of the talk shows she had to attend to, and all of the awards she was given. She was grateful for, but she also found it super exhausting. She longed for the quiet of her lab and the serenity of the night sky. One evening, she stood on a hill overlooking the city, the same hill where she had spent countless nights as a child, gazing at the stars. "Beautiful, isn't it?" Matthew's voice broke the silence. He walked next to her with hands in his pockets. He came to see her and see how she's been handling all of this fame. Kate smiled and said, "I'm okay. I mean, I'm supposed to be much more than okay. But I'm a scientist. I love peace and I love being on my own, without having deadlines and meetings every single day since we came back. But on the other hand, I should be grateful that this ended the way it ended. Sometimes it's hard to believe that we almost lost it all." Matthew nodded, looking out at the horizon. "Yeah, I understand you completely, Kate, and I feel the same way. We came close to losing it all, but we made it. Together." Kate turned to him with her teary eyes. "You were right, Matthew. We faced one of the biggest challenges humanity has ever faced, and we found a way to beat this thing. And it wasn't just science or technology that saved us. It was our spirit and our determination." "And a bit of luck," Matthew added, smiling. They both started laughing, while the tension of the past couple of months was fading away. "So what's next for you?" Kate asked. "I think I'll take some time off," Matthew replied. "Maybe write a book, share our story. The world needs to know what we faced out there." "That sounds like a great idea," Kate said to him. "People need hope. They need someone to tell them that no matter the all kinds of problems they have in life, they can still choose to fight back. And our story can definitely give them that."